It's the morning star drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and fill your mind.
I'm burning with desire and the passion. Nobody can stop me when I'm like this. I got my head in the zone, you know. I'm on the morning star drive, you know.
Hey guys, how's it going? It is Thursday, January 21st, 2021, and this is the Morning Star Drive on 117.8. We're on YouTube, so make sure to subscribe, follow us on SoundCloud, and make sure to support us on Patreon. So today we'll get some coronavirus updates, victory rhymes by Youngse from South Africa, and also some question and answer from our audience. So, how are you guys doing today? It is Thursday, almost the ending of the week. Hope you really enjoyed the service last night from your head leaders. Let's get this day started together here on the Morning Star Drive. Just want to remind everyone to keep liking and commenting. I want to hear from you guys and see how you are doing. So, on Tuesday night, we had our first live show on the SKY YouTube channel, the new one that used to be Espresso with Sky. It was called Lab 78. Really fun time, did things in a brand new way. It's the first time I ever did anything with a co-host, and it was Elin from Malaysia. She's like a real Instagrammer. She got like 20,000 people on there, and she gets paid to do it and stuff too. She's an actress, singer, dancer. She does everything, right? So it brought a lot more youth into the show, and it's our first time trying it. So we got to do. We're gonna try to work it out more and more we can. And that title was called 2021 Starter Pack, the New Year Starter Pack. So it's how to find direction, how to start the year well. So go ahead and check that out, guys. That one is actually a live show. Also, this Saturday we'll have another video. It's going to be every Saturdays and Tuesdays, so another video will be popping up on that channel also. And this Sunday, we'll be meeting someone from Korea. It is Hannah Jung, and she's Korean, studied in America, so her English is really good, has a heart of gold for this history. Super thankful that she spent time to do this interview, and so everyone make sure to catch next week's Sunday edition. All right, so it is Thursday, so let's get into today's featured artist of the day, and today's featured artist is Man in Groom from the Paper Music Associates in Korea. Yes, I found his SoundCloud channel finally, so there's another new song I'm going to play today called How Can I Be a Good Man? Second song is going to be from The Sky in Japan, Spring Emotion, and last but not least, it is Juice-Star Aiden Verdi breaking things down from New Zealand with the song Believe in Me. So more than anything else, guys, make sure you support our member artists from around the world, and most importantly, let us make sure that we keep them in our prayers.
아침밥과 함께하는 뉴스는 이젠 일기예보 날 때문만은 아니지 고3 때 보지도 못했던 열공러들 나라면 하지도 못했을 그런 멋있는 놈들 그런 아저씨들 중 몇 명은 국회에서 아침마다 TV에 나와 아빠 욕바지를 자쳐 그런 아빠가 우스웠던 건 막연했던 이유 막연했어 그냥 이상주의 내 시선을 탓해야지 재밌더라고 비록 내 통념은 부서졌지만 공부가 다긴 나잖아 배움이 없으면 성공도 어렵지 Feel the great 양복 입고 머리 올린 정치인들 But peel the bubble 내 시선은 이미 꼴대로 꼬였지 방금 오는 시리얼을 다시 내려놔 be serious 눈을 비벼 잠이 덜 깼나봐 아니면 귀를 아파 나 자기 전 아니다 다르게 아빠는 this rap 우리 아빠는 소질이 썩게 시민 덕분에 우리 아침 식탁은 비펴지네 Boy I feel stuffy 사람들의 코가 너무 길지 구분이 안돼 커피 How can baby be your shiny shiny boy I feel stuffy 사람들의 코가 너무 길지 구분이 안돼 커피 How can baby be your shiny shiny 할 말을 못할 만한 상황이 너무 많아 yeah. 난 정말 될 거라고 나는 내가 yeah. 그게 내 발목을 잡아도 나는 yeah. 내 목에 줄이 채워지는 건 용납을 삶을 그래도 솔직해질래 친구라도 잘못된 건 잘못된 거야 공부만 하는 새끼들 필요해 보이네 묵상이 의미 없는 종교는 병들게 하지 잘 들을 건데 아무 말도 안 하는 게 예의란 남배의 양아치 물론 첫째로 자신에게 떳떳하게 나기를 내봐 목이 잡혀도 더 세게 차버릴래 이게 내게 걔라도 남의 무게줄 안 걸래 yeah. Boy I feel stuffy 사람들 내 코가 너무 길지고뿐 이 안돼 캐피 I can't baby be your shiny shiny boy I feel stuffy 사람들의 코가 너무 길지고뿐 이 안돼 캐피 I can't baby be your shiny shiny boy I feel stuffy 사람들의 코가 너무 길지고뿐 이 안돼 캐피 I can't baby be your shiny shiny boy I feel stuffy 사람들의 코가 너무 길지고뿐 이 안돼
ああ君の声にハマったみたいだああ春の風に触ったみたいだああ僕の声が君と重なるああ心の中見せてください新しい景色新しい時を今までの記憶消えて生まれ変わるみたいに君の愛の雨ください切ないほどに離れないまま言葉じゃなくていいからずっとずっとそばでああ僕の声が届くようにと枯れた涙で祈るばかりだ別々の世界に分かれていても未だに信じているよ春の雨に打たれて君の愛のかけら一つ寂しい気持ちこらえながら言葉ってだけでいいただ忘れていないと
People say the world is your oyster. It's not any easier to see. Another day and I'm starting to wonder if I'll ever know what it means. A teary-eyed hustling dreamer, find it so hard to believe in me. How long till I can say I believe in? How long till I can say I believe in? How long till I can say I believe in? How long till I can say I believe in? I try to change her mind every day. I try to pull myself from the frame. I try to change her mind every day. I try to make her listen, but she looks back the same way. I try to change her mind every day. I try to pull myself from the frame. I try to change her mind every day. I try to make her listen, but she looks back the same way. How long till I can say I believe in? How long till I can say I believe in? How long till I can say I believe in? How long till I can say I believe in me? Believe in me. How long till I can say I believe in me? Believe in me. How long till I can say I believe in me? How long till I can say I believe in me? How long till I can say I believe in me? How long till I can say I believe in me? How long till I can say I
And that was Juice-Star Aiden Verity from New Zealand, and that song is Believe in Me. Before that, The Sky in Japan, and that is Spring Emotion. And of course, the feature artist of the day is Man in Groom from the Paper Music Associates in Korea. And that new song that we just debuted today is How Can I Be a Good Man? All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that music from our member artists from around the world, and that brings us into some coronavirus updates for today. So in the world at the moment, there are 96.6 million cases with 2 million deaths, and mortality rate just went up to 2.14%. And they're not the, that's not the only thing. A lot of countries actually went up in their mortality rates. U.S. 24.8 million cases, 411,000 deaths at 1.66%. Brazil, 8.5 million cases, 211,000 deaths at 2.47%. Russia, 3.6 million cases, 66,000 deaths at 1.84%. UK going up in their mortality rate. They're at 3.4 million cases, 91,000 deaths at 2.64%. France comes in at fifth with 2.9 million cases, 71,000 deaths at 2.43%. And Spain rounds up the top six with 2.3 million cases, 54,000 deaths at 2.29%. And as we can see, the last three are all from Europe, and they all have over 2% for their mortality rate. So it's still a little bit bad over there in Europe too. We look at Sweden, also a European country, 1.99%, which means they went up once again. Their mortality rate went up. And Belgium holds steady at 3.01%. All right, let's take a look at the daily infection rates for today. The U.S. on top with 171 cases in a single day. Then Brazil with 63,000 cases. Spain with 34,000 cases. The U.K., 33,000. France with 23,000 cases, and Russia rounds up the top 6 with 21,000 cases in a single day. Now let's move over here to Southeast Asia. Indonesia still on top, 10,000 cases in a day, and Malaysia 3,600 cases in a day, and then Philippines with 1,300 cases. And that is what is going around the world with the coronavirus updates. So what does that mean right now? Because it is Thursday, guys, we always have our special segment on Thursdays. And who is it today? It is Youngse from South Africa, who's living in Korea at the moment. And she does a segment called Victory Rhymes. So she takes like these resurrected poems made by members or by Sun's or just these ones that people request. They can be anonymous, but I really hope that you guys participate even more, and the email is going to be in the description. So guys, listen up. It is Victory Rhymes with Youngse.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another segment of Victory Rhymes here on the Morning Star Drive. This is the place where I share the poetry that was written by the brides of this history and inspired by the Holy Spirit. And presented by me. I am Youngse. I am all the way from South Africa, but I've been living in Korea for the last 5 years and working as an English teacher. And as you can assume, I am really passionate about writing. I loved writing. Before I came to Korea, I was a theater actress in South Africa, and I used to really love to write my own scripts and stuff and poetry. Yeah, and even when I was younger, like primary school, I really wanted to be a singer. Like I thought that, like I set the cutoff date, like before I'm 13 years old, because at that time it was like someone like Demi Lovato or someone was 13 or something, and I was like, okay, that's it, I'm gonna be a singer, and I have to be famous by 13. So I wrote my own songs and imagined singing them on stage. But then like I turned 13, wasn't famous yet. Oh no, first quarter crisis, or what do you call it? But now I'm in this amazing history where I can sing the songs of life, and I'm so happy. And sometimes say there's like the world is your stage, your daily life is your stage, and being on this stage of daily life where God and Holy Spirit and Lord is always with us and always watching, singing these amazing songs is actually really dream come true. It's so fulfilling, and it's really awesome. It's really amazing. And another thing that I really like to write is raps. I like raps. I used to listen to Eminem until I found the Sunmi Boys. The Sunmi Boys, gotta give you guys a shout out. You guys your music really meant a lot to me. Because it was just so great to find such great music that is about God and about loving God, believing in God, about faith, and where I can have that rap vibe, hip hop vibe, but afterwards I feel so inspired. Like it was just amazing. And yeah, so I really like all kinds of writing, and this year I've been inspired to write raps again. Actually from my teaching experience, because I started rapping to the kids in the classroom. Like they even call me Rap Sam, which is like Sam is short for Sangsanin, which means teacher. But it inspired me to write raps for God, and I've done so, and I've shared one of them on this Victory Rhyme segment already this year for the first podcast of Victory Rhymes for this year. And today, in this year of new things, 영육새롭게, I'm gonna share another rap. And the story behind this rap, just shortly, is that in the world there are these famous rappers, and they rap about how awesome their life is, and oh, I got so many yachts, man, and like, I don't even, and I look like this, and all these, like, I've got so much money and all these dollar bills and like just so many houses, and like they rap about all these material things and the fame, and you know it's bad, but they rap about all those kind of stuff, and like I rap about how awesome their life is. But then I thought about, I think we really live an awesome life. Like we really live we are the people who can really say, like, my life is truly awesome. I believe in God, I believe in the Lord, and I live this life full of life and purpose and true gratification and joy. And I thought, like, okay, then what if I start rapping about all the cool things that I have in my life and that I do in my life, living as the beloved bride of God. And so I wrote this rap called Awesome Life, and I hope that you guys can enjoy it. Maybe you can dance in your car, dance along, and maybe you can relate. Yeah. So here we go. Awesome Life. You asked me about awesome life. I'll tell you about real awesome life. While the world's asleep, I'm the one to weep while I pray in the pre-dawn. Before the break of dawn, I offer service 8 times a week. The word of the Lord is all that I seek. I live the life of rapture, a joy you cannot capture in a song or word. I live only for the Lord. I'm the Lord's wife, so I feed the sheep with the bread of life. Yeah, I'm destroying demons in the name of the Lord, cause he slayed the dragon with the sword of the word. I read the Bible cover to cover, cause I am God's lover. He's my true eternal bridegroom. He showed me true love, that's why I swoon. I fulfill the purpose of creation in adoration of the one who gave me this salvation. I live for 316, so I will fix every part of my heart that doesn't match his. I will change for the better. That is my love letter. This is the history where I blossom. Can my life be even more awesome? Yeah, I live as God's wife. I throw praise parties, giving glory to God. I sing my heart out with all that I've got. Can you sing a song that will go on as long as eternally? Can you try to beat me? I have a never-changing heart, I won't fall apart, but I'll live with the Lord, so I'll never be bored. This is the history where I blossom. Can my life be even more awesome? And that was Awesome Life, a rap I wrote about the awesome life we live. And I hope that you guys enjoy that, and I hope that you get this feeling of like, yeah, my life is so awesome. And I'm so happy and like take pride in the life we live, loving the Trinity and the Lord. Absolutely. And following their will, because that is an awesome life. So that brings us to the end of another Victory Rhyme segment. And as always, if you've written something, if you like to share anything else, maybe Song Sim's poem or someone else's poem, anything is okay, please mail me at the email in the description box and I will get back to you. And that brings us to the end. I hope you have an awesome day, everyone. And I'm Yonsei. I'll be back next week. Goodbye.
And once again, that is Youngse from South Africa with another great episode of Victory Rhymes. Yes, she does another rap, so that's really cool. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Hopefully she'll come up with an album, or she'll have some things that she can record. That'd be great if she did. And we had another member artist that comes out of the mix. All right, guys, that means right now, what's it time for? It is time for us to get into some praise and worship. So we got a couple songs prepared for all of you, and I hope that you guys will enjoy this time together as one body of the Morning Star Drive. Let us have a time of giving glory to the Holy Trinity with The Lord is My Hope and Joy, The Sail of Life, and one of the classics, I Believe.
Life without the Lord, how could we live? No wonder why they want to know more. But how can they know him? Secrets of the times and of the Lord they'll not know, but remain in ignorance until they are told they will not know at all. As one who knows, I will surely tell the world, tell them the truth, testify for him, then they will know. My Lord once spoke to me, to my heart. My love, testify to all of the world. Please, love, testify for me. Then the Lord God will be with you, speaking through your lips every day. You will be moved by the Spirit. She'll enlighten you. Life without the Lord, how could we live? No one could live like that. Without fun, without hope, oh, what kind of life is that? Since the Lord is my hope and joy, I'll always follow. The Lord is my pride. He's the source of my confidence. Let's sail farther away with the sail of our Lord. Let's fly, take to the sky with the wings of our Lord. Let's go speeding away with the engine of our Lord. Let's soar, spirit of mine, with the wings of our Lord. Put up the sail of the Lord, and the Spirit's grace like a wind will blow, so we can travel where it goes with this blessing. So let's put up that sail of the Lord. I'll serve the Lord, he will be my center. I will travel flying high, soaring up into the sky. I'll ride the waves on the seas of this life. With the sail of the Lord, I will go to that city of gold. I'll set the sail of the Lord above my head, and I'll go passing the waves and trials of the world. This gift of rapture from the Lord, since I sat here to the sky. I'll ride the waves on the seas of this life. With the sail of the Lord, I will go to that city of gold. I'll serve the Lord, He will be my center. I will travel flying high, soaring up into the sky. I'll ride the waves on the seas of this life. With the sail of the Lord, I will go to that city of gold. Hallelujah, we will love forever. With the sail of the Lord, I'll be ever gliding high. Hallelujah, for the rapture is mine. Eagle's wings will carry me. I will fly to the city of gold. Hallelujah, we will love forever. With the sail of the Lord, I'll be ever gliding high. Hallelujah, for the rapture is mine. Eagle's wings will carry me. I will fly to that city of gold.
As I am walking on this road that leads to the city of gold, the Lord's sail is planted in my center, and on the Lord's wings I will rapture higher. I believe that the will has been fulfilled. I believe that my spirit rose with Him. I believe I'm living in the city of gold, and in this life I will always give thanks as I rise towards that plan. With the condition of the Lord, God's dream finally came true. As for me, I'll walk this path unchanging. I'll do what I must, and I'll never turn back. I believe that the will has been fulfilled. I believe that my spirit rose with Him. I believe I'm living in the city of gold, and in time passes, all we'll see. I believe I'll stand firm, even though the wind may blow, never shaken. I'll fulfill heaven's will. God's history of love has won. God's history of love has won.
And that is the amazing classic, I Believe. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that time of praise and worship together. Before that was The Sale of Life, which is also one of the most amazing, like the first time I was super amazed by one of these praise songs. It's like, wow, this really, really sounds, and like you can sing it really well. There's just everything about it was done so well. And of course, that first song is The Lord is My Joy and Hope. All right, so let's get into a time of word study for today. And of course, today is Thursday, so we do a question and answer. And in this week's message, I got a question from Japan. And in this week's message, Sunsim does talk a lot about valuing the time that we're living in, right? We really have to value it more than anything else. And if we lose the value, it's like we lose the value of this time, right? So this duration of time, we're living in the greatest duration ever. Like we're living at the same time while he's living. What does that mean? It means that there cannot be a time greater than what we're doing right now. So you have to take advantage of it. And it's kind of like all throughout the message, it's just lined up as in like a duration of time. Once it ends, it's done. And you can almost say that he's like kind of talking about the situation where there's not much time left. And we have to do as much as we can during this time while he's living, or we're going to regret and we'll never get this time back again. So the question given was, how do we show that like the value, people like help them to see the value of this history that we're living in right now? You know what I mean? How can we show people this? And this is a question that a lot of people ask, because it's like, oh my goodness, like, oh, these people don't know the value, and they don't do this, they don't do that, they don't evangelize, they don't do this. And we have a lot of things that kind of go through our minds, right? And there are a couple things that I want to kind of bring up, because valuing this history is a very interesting thing. Like, it's an interesting point. How to gain value. Like, how do we gain value? So if we look at some of the reasons why we value something, of course we say to ourselves, oh, you don't value it till it's gone. But actually you value it usually in the beginning. Like, how many people do you know that in this history, when they first realized, they valued it? Like, oh my gosh, we're in this history. Oh my goodness, this is so amazing. Oh my goodness. Like, in the very beginning, a lot of people are just so amazed. They value it. They do all the morning prayers. They really work hard. But then somewhere along the line that people start cooling down. That's like a normal thing. I wouldn't say it should be normal, but it's something that normally happens to a lot of people. They kind of just lose that fire, right? So the first question I would want to give people is, how do you gain value in something? Like, originally we had the value, because people who don't value it are not going to just wake up at 4 a.m. if they don't value it. Like, it's too much of a jump. It's too big. Like, oh, I think I should just wake up at 4. Like, no one does that. So when you look at when people value something, why do they value something? Well, the first reason is usually because it solves a problem. That's why they value. Right? That's why people value money. Money is valuable because it solves a lot of problems. It's not going to solve every problem, obviously, but it does solve a lot of problems like food. It solves clothing, housing, transportation. And this is why money is valued so much, because it solves a lot of problems. And if you think about this too, imagine getting a car when you're in a situation where you're taking a train and a bus to work, waiting for the bus. Sometimes you miss it. It takes 2 hours to get to work or school. And if someone buys you a car, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, yup, I value this, because man, it beats being on the train with a bunch of sweaty people during rush hour. And then people value the car. There's one thing, right? Another reason why people value something, because it's meaningful. Like, it comes from someone meaningful. Like, it's possible, it comes from someone you love. Like if Pastor Joan or something gives you a watch, and even if the watch is like $10, you're still going to be like, wow, wow, right? You're like, wow, it's so amazing, right? And people can be so happy, and everyone else is gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm so jealous, I'm so envious, right? So when you are given something from someone valuable, then even that becomes something that's something that you value. And it's not just like, it's like celebrities too. If people can just get, there's a regular shirt for $10, but if it's a shirt bought for you by your favorite celebrity, then the value changes because they bought it for me. Oh, they touched it. Oh, they sweat in it, or whatever it is, right? And also when it comes to yourself, like how do you value something is depending upon the process and how you got it. For instance, if you're spoiled and things are just given to you all the time, then it's you not going to say you don't, but more likely not able to really value what you're given. But if you work hard for everything, you put all the sweat and tears, and then you gain something, then you kind of value it too because you put so much work into it just to get it. Right? So this is how we gain value. So when you look at people in this Providence history, yeah, there are many people in the beginning, we had some issue or problem, whether it's meaninglessness in life, emptiness, or didn't know what to do, what was my purpose. It's just a lot of different things that we go through, and being in this history solves a lot of those problems, and that's why we begin to value it, right? Now, I think the bigger question we have to really think about is, why do we lose the value? Because I'm saying in most cases, not all, but in most cases, people value the history from the beginning. Like, oh my gosh, history of God. I can't believe this is the most amazing thing that ever happened. Wow, right? That's one of the things that are just really, really amazing. Like, yeah, this is the history of God. Now, the question is why do people lose it? And I think there are probably two extremes that allow us to lose value in this history. There's two big things that happen, right? And I would say the two big things on one end is burnout. Like you just put everything in, no rest, no breaks until you just completely die because you just put too much in, right? There's one. And on the flip side, usually people lose value because they're working hard and then they rest, but then they end up resting too long and then they become lazy from it, right? Like I can remember when I first came, 1998, I was loving it, and then I went, I was in another country for school, and then I went to go visit my family again for like 3 months, and in that country, when I was in Vancouver at that time, there wasn't a church. So I was basically on my own, and I was like, what? I think I was still studying at that time, and you just kind of lose the fire and you lose the value of what you were learning, even though you're like, oh my gosh, this is the most amazing thing. But, when you're by yourself and you haven't really matured yet, you kind of lose out because you just rested way too long. Like, even for me, at a time when I was really, really burnt out, or I don't know if I was burnt out, but I was really like tired, and went home to my family, and it was like, I think I missed one too many pre-dawns, and then you kind of just lose that feeling, and then you're like, oh, I don't want to get up anymore, and you don't get up anymore, right? So, it's usually one of those two. Of course, the other situations like people hurt you or something else along that line, but in most cases, when you look in a regular case, it's either people rest too long and they get lazy, or they just go all out and they're burnt out, right? And this is something that I think that a lot of us have to think about, with ourselves too. Like, as someone who is running in full-time Providence, the one thing that I honestly thought this in the past, it was just burn, run, and run, and run till you have no more, right? Because, it's almost like sometimes we hear things and we only hear the things that we think that the message is trying to say, like, oh, run with your life on the line. Oh, if I run my life on the line, that means after I run, I have no life left because I put everything on the line, right? And you start like really just going into massive burnout. So one of the big mistakes that people who burn out is we think that that's what Sunsing means. Put your life on the line, do it until you die, right? You just drop dead. Now, when the message tells us to do things until you die, it doesn't mean without rest, and it doesn't mean without sleep, and it doesn't mean without taking a break here and there. It doesn't mean that. Doing it until you die, it doesn't mean, because basically if you run without sleeping and eating, you'll eventually die pretty soon, right? And obviously we know they're not talking about, like, the message. God doesn't want us to do that, not eat, not sleep, and just go until I die, which is probably going to take maybe a week or so, right? And obviously, then that one's because it's extreme, it's obvious. But then when it gets a little bit into the middle area, then we think to ourselves, it's like, oh, we got to run without taking a break 24/7. And that's wrong too. Or else God wouldn't have a Sabbath. You know what I mean? Like God has a Sabbath. There's a rest day. And in the same way too, we have to understand that we do have to have that rest day. And that's why, even for myself, I realized after head leading, like, man, I really need a day off. And this is why, even for myself, I will take a day off during the week where it's my day. I don't care what is going on. It's my day, and I do what I want. And if someone wants me to lecture, it is my choice, and I'll choose it only if I really want to. Without, and I'm not going to sit there with the guilt of, well, don't you want to save life? And the answer is, well, I also have to think about my life too. Like, I'm not going to burn myself out and have no rest day. I will choose a day that it's my day. I'll take rest. I'll do the things that I want. It doesn't mean I sleep all day. I just do my hobbies and I do the things that I really want to do, right? And that's something that I do believe, like, think about this, guys. Even if you're like working full time, don't you still get Saturday, Sunday off? You still do, right? So even people who are working don't work even if it's Monday to Friday, it's like 8 hours. You don't do all day until midnight, until 2, 3 a.m. and you pick up the phone anytime. But it's really weird because I do see a lot of people think that way when it comes to running for God. But no, we need to do it reasonably. And this is something I really believe is something that we all have to think about, is there is a reasonable way to do everything. Because I remember a long time ago, Sunset gave a message. He says, you know what? All these people, they just run with all their heart and they die after 2 years. Like, they're basically burnt out. They can't do any leading anymore. And the equation he gave was, you put in 80 and you leave 20% behind. Leave 20%, leave 20% of your energy behind. Like, you need it. Right? You can't just you can't just go two years and then you just kill yourself, right? And not kill, but you'll just die off and burn out and you can't do any more leading or anything like that. It's more of you gotta become the person that actually does it in a wise way. Do it 80%, leave 20% for yourself. You're not gonna kill yourself and die out. So, a lot of people who have that mentality, like, we have to go all the way, man, all the way, don't stop. It's just a recipe for disaster, right? So one thing is, I do think we need to, as people who are in this history, have to think about ourselves and the rest that we need to take. We do need to rest. We're human. One of the big things that was in this week's message is limitations, right? Time and duration, but there's a limitation of time human beings have. And that's the biggest difference between the spiritual world and the physical world. Physical world has limitations. There's durations. There's a time, right? So we have to think about ourselves is, we see how Sunseam runs, but it doesn't mean we're not at the same level. We're not going to go and sleep for 30 minutes and get back up. We're not that level. We have to do it at our own level. And that's something that we have to realize more and more, that we have to look at ourselves and each other and help each other out and give people a rest day, right? And honestly, when you think about rest is different from person to person, right? I would say even just department. What's rest for campus? Rest for campus is not going home and reading a book. Rest for campus is going to Disney World. Rest for campus is going out having a fun time. Rest for campus is it's fun because they have so much energy still, but they just want to have fun, and that's rest, right? And when you get up to and young career people are like that too. But when you get to older career is kind of and families, when you get to a little bit older age, you would just love to go to a nice restaurant and have a really good meal with close people and just have good talks with them. You know what I mean? That's what happens when you get older, because it goes more to your mind, because it's less energy on your body, but your mind gets to this really deep level. And of course, if you're a couple with lots of kids, I'm sure that rest for the families is dropping your kids off at the church where the campus will take care of the kids and all the parents go off on a date, and that's rest. Yeah. Or drop the kids off and go home and sleep. But looking at every level, that's just looking at from department. And then you look inside the department, you have extroverts and introverts. Extroverts go out and have fun. Introverts want to be alone. And this is a normal thing. And we really have to look at, what does it mean to let people rest? but we need to be able to just make sure that everyone has that type of rest. And also on the flip side are those that maybe rest too much, right? And that is a big problem too. Is if I know myself too. Even during the pandemic, there's that spell in the middle where you're just like you don't want to do anything, and like no one's looking at you, and you're not really focused when you pray. You wake up late, and you just kind of get into that mode, right? And it's something that if you do it too long, then you basically end up messing up your constitution, and then your spirituality goes down the tube. You become very physical, and then more problems can happen also, right? So it's something that we have to understand is value is usually I don't know if value is lost. I just think that people really, really get tired, and they're just too much for them. Right? I do also think that one thing people do need to teach others is the value in understanding, the understanding that value isn't something that is like, oh, I know the value and it's done. Because you have to continue to know the value more and more, right? Because, in the end, we're all eternal, right? And even God is constantly getting better and better, learning and learning. Heaven is getting made more and more as we're making heaven here on earth too, right? So when you think about this, it's very, very interesting. It is. It's very, really interesting. And I think that's something that we really have to think about at a much deeper level, right? It is something that we have to think at a much deeper level and understand, oh, this is what it's saying, right? So I hope that more than anything else, we'll be able to manage people well so they don't get to the point where they get too lazy or rest too long or they burn out. And this is something that we, people who are a little bit more mature, can be those helping those that are just coming in so they don't reach that, when they just burn the midnight oil for like 2 years and then they're gone. And I think it's like this week's message. This week's message is basically... people take time. People need time for salvation. We really do. And because we need time, we have to look at each other as a marathon that even if you pass, it doesn't mean you do everything right. Even if you pass, doesn't mean you're going to do everything perfectly. And our expectations shouldn't be that high also. Okay, so that is the question for this week, and I hope it's something that we can think a lot more deeply about ourselves too. Are we resting too much, or are we not resting enough? Because once you burn out or once you get lazy, then it's easy to lose the value at that point. Of course, we have other things in the message that says, if you forget, you die. If you remember, be thankful all the time. But I wanted to really focus on that thing about resting too long or not resting at all and burning out. Okay? So I hope that is great for your question and answer for today. And it'll be something that you guys will have to think deeply about also. All right. So that means we're going to go into the song of choice. The song of choice for today, the last song for today. I'm going to go back to this group I really like called Music Love Travel, and they are a Canadian group, okay, Canadian pop rock country band. And it's basically originally this group was called the Moffats, right? And they were, I think there was four brothers that made this group, the Moffats, together, right? So there's like two of them are twins, and then the other is part of a triplet, which is quite crazy. You have a triplet and a twins in the same family, right? So the band started out as a country music vocal group when they were children, and then I think they said at that time they were the youngest band ever to sign a major label recording contract. Then in 2001, they disbanded, and then two of them came back to form this duo called Music, Travel, and Love. They're really, really good. And this song, I've been waiting for this song to be done. It's a really, really good song. It's from way back from Dolly Parton days, and everyone's going to know this because it was famous through the soundtrack of the movie Bodyguard. The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston. And Whitney Houston sings that classic version of this that everyone knows in our generation, right? And they have done a cover of the song I Will Always Love You. It's done in a very classy and good way, so I hope you guys enjoy this. This is Music, Love, Travel, and the song is I Will Always Love You.
1, 2, 3, 4. If I should stay, I would only be in your way. So step of the way. Oh, and I will always love you. Yeah, yeah. Will always love you. Yeah, yeah. And bittersweet memories. Oh, that is all I'm taking with me. So goodbye. Please don't cry, 'cause we both know I'm not what you need. Oh, and I will always love you. Yeah, yeah. We'll always love you. Oh, yeah. We'll always love you. Oh, my darling, you. Yeah. Oh, my darling, you. And I hope life treats you kind. Oh, and I hope you have all you dreamed of. And I wish you joy and happiness. But above all this, I wish you love. Oh, and I will always love you. Yeah, yeah. We'll always love you. Oh, yeah, yeah. We'll always love you. Yeah, yeah. I will always love you. I will always love you.
And that was Music, Love, Travel, formerly known as the Muffets. And that song was "I Will Always Love You." What do you guys think about that cover? Isn't that an amazing cover? How music is so what's that word? It's like flexible. It's so flexible that you could take one song and you can make it in like 25 different ways. It's really, really amazing. So I'm very grateful that we had this song of choice for today, and I hope you guys really were relaxed and enjoyed that one. Which leads us into the last segment for today. And today's last segment, I want to talk about something very interesting. Of course, everything's interesting, but just recently, I took on 3 more teams for lecture training. So I'm now lecture training 3 more teams. It's not quite as busy as before though, because before I had 2 teams but twice a week. But this is 3 teams once a week. So I'm actually not doing as much as I did before. But it's been a while since I've done like this lecture training. So it's very interesting because like my constitution's not ready to do lecture training again. However, because it's something I really enjoy, this is something I'm thinking about, because there's a couple things I really enjoy these days. I love this the MSD podcast and the interviews. I love it. I love making it. The second thing I love making also is my other YouTube channel for newcomers, so for SKY. And like, you know, we're just doing everything new. It's like we just started on Saturday, so you saw the new video on Saturday. Plus Tuesday, I had a co-host for the live show, and that's only twice a month, so it's every 2 weeks. And then we have another thing. So the other 2 weeks that we don't do the live shows, I have vlogs. Right, with these crazy stories. If you guys hear, wait till next Tuesday's vlog, my video. It's just crazy. Okay, so some of you heard the story, but many of you haven't. But it's crazy how crazy that story is. When you hear it, you're like, oh my gosh, and some of you might throw up. But yeah, so I'm trying to do a lot of different cool things while I'm making this channel. So I hope you guys will really enjoy it. But because I'm enjoying it, this is the thing: lecture training, this, and my 2 channels, I really, really, genuinely enjoy it. And this is why it doesn't feel like work. That is the interesting thing. Yeah, and it's because we enjoy doing it. Now, of course, I know and I understand that what's going to eventually happen is that there's going to be a time where I'm going to be exhausted by it. There is. Like, even before doing this podcast, I was doing lecture training, or even before that, I was preparing, then I did lecture training, and then I did another Q&A with lectures, and I'm going to post that onto my Patreon tonight. And then also I have what's that thing I did? What else did I do? And then I took like an hour rest, and then I just started doing this podcast. And of course we have a Wednesday service tonight with the head leaders, which I'm super excited about. But for me is it's one of those good exhaustions, like, wow, we really got a lot done today. And it's all things that I genuinely enjoy. And I know that because I enjoy it, when it gets difficult, like, oh, it's so tough, I'm still going to do it because it's something I really, really enjoy. And I think it's something that we have to also think about too, ourselves. Finding something that you really, really enjoy. But the caveat is this. The only reason I'm enjoying these things is because of the skills or the things I've been developing over the last 20 years. Right? So if I were to do this from the very beginning, I probably wouldn't enjoy it at all. I'm like, oh no, I don't know what to say. What do you say in a podcast? What do you do? I don't know what to do for YouTube. We'll have no ideas because there's not much developed. And it's very interesting because in order for you to reach something that you really enjoy and you can do for the rest of your life, you need to still develop yourself to get to a certain point before you can even enjoy the things that you might not even know that you enjoy yet. Right? And once you have this sense of responsibility, like, I have to do this, and then you'll go like mad out. Like, like I said, during the first 15 days, I did like 19 videos, and I haven't done a video since. Since the 13th, I haven't done a video, right? I just done the lecture training and like question and answer, but I haven't done another video because there's so many videos that's going to last me for over 3 months that I'm taking a break from it so I don't like burn myself out in that area. But I'm just thankful I could take a month off and just focus on like the live show and focus on other things, right? So that's something that's really, the more and more I'm realizing is like, yeah, when you make yourself, then it becomes enjoyable. It's like, I remember when I played basketball before, when I was really, really young, I sucked so badly, right? And it's interesting because even though I was so bad, but what happens when you're bad is you don't enjoy it. Like, no one, like, honestly, who likes to, like, whatever you're doing, who likes to play basketball and just get thoroughly thrashed? Right? Just get schooled, right? Just throwing up bricks. Like, those of you know basketball lingo, they know exactly what I'm saying. But you just get torched by people. It's not fun. It really isn't. Anything. Like, losing's not fun. But the more and more you get good at it, the more fun it becomes, the more you can beat other people, the more you enjoy like these very classic clashes with each other, these types of things, right? So it's something that's very, very interesting. I think that all of us can really think about and understand. And if we really, really, if we do this in a different way, I really feel that we can change the way that we see these things, right? So I really, really hope that all of us can find, first develop yourself, because you're not going to know what you really like until you develop. Like, I honestly, right now, if I think of myself when I first started, there's no way I would think to myself, oh, I really like to do a podcast or be on YouTube, right? Like 20 years ago, I would have no idea. And I honestly, at that time, I don't really have like that skills. I don't have those developed skills. But, when people are saying, oh, I don't know what to do, and the answer is most people don't, because when you're not developed, you don't know what you want to do. And when you don't know what you want to do, then you feel lost and there's no direction, like, oh, I don't know what I should focus on, right? But as you develop yourself, you're going to realize the things that you like and the things that you don't like. It's like, for myself, I realize as I grew up in Providence, there are certain things I like and some things that some things I'm really good at, like I'm naturally good at, some things I'm not, like talking or speaking, but not so much as in, like, for instance, a forte would not be like managing people for a long time, right? I can do it in short spurts, but, I found myself, I'm always like ADHD, got to get up and do stuff, right? And I just can't sit there for like 6 hours listening to someone. I just can't, right? I can't. It's harder for me. But then I look at other people that are really amazing because they can sit there patiently listening for hours and hours. I'm just like, wow, they are really amazing because they do that thing that I can't do very well. Like, we are not going to do every single thing amazingly well. And there's that like in I talked a bit before about 1 Corinthians chapter 12, and 1 Corinthians 12:12, that's about we're all different parts of the body and we have different functions and we need to really, really work well together with other people, right? And I really hope that we can have that mentality and that mindset, that we will be able to find our strengths. Of course, we're going to be building our weaknesses as we go, but find those strengths that we can work together with other people that cover our blind spots and cover the spots that we're not very good at. So I'm really, really excited and thankful that, this is a new year of renewal, right? It's a year of renewing your body and your spirit. And I really hope that everyone too will be able to, if you're in the position of still developing, then keep developing. If you're in the position that you've developed certain skills, that you can start working on them and finding the thing that you really like to do. And I know, especially this year, the year of blessing, that a lot of people are going to be blessed in multiple different ways. And I really hope that everyone finds that thing, like, that's my thing, right? Because it might take some time, but when you get there, you can go for a long time. Right? So, for now, I know where my position is right now, and I'm really, really happy about it. But I hope that everyone else too will be able to find the joy in developing yourself, to find the thing that you like so that you can do it. Do something for this is what I want to do. Okay, so that is the last segment for today. Those are kind of my thoughts for the end of this week. I hope you guys really enjoyed today's podcast, which leaves only tomorrow, which is the last day of the week. And we're getting close already, guys, to the end of January, as crazy as that sounds. Oh, by the way, it was my mom's birthday yesterday, so I'm super happy right now because I was able to talk to her. Well, yeah, it was yesterday on the 20th, but then in Malaysia, it's kind of like, it was like Wednesday night, right? And then today. But, I had a good talk with my mom, so I'm in a very, very good mood. So happy birthday to my mom. I think she's born in 1952, which means she's now 68. No, 69. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Time flies by. She's almost 70. Either way, hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on the Morning Star Drive on 117.8.
It's the Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and fill your mind.
I'm burning with desire and the passion. Nobody can stop me when I'm like this. I got my head in the zone, I'm on the Morning Star Drive,